I don't think I'm going to be able to let you guys have snacks in the back seat anymore because I had to vacuum out the car something fierce the other day because people are missing their mouths when they're snacking. Hello and welcome. My name is Diane and I am here today to share with you another yarny adventure. We're going to hop in the car and we are going to go to Prince Edward Island, the smallest Atlantic province in Canada. Now, if you're new, where have you been? Welcome, but where have you been? This is my pink bathtub. I know, it's a strange name. I used to own a pink bathtub and I didn't quite like it, but I learned to embrace it. And then I decided I was going to call my small business My Pink Bathtub. I sell my knitting at markets, kind of a little side thing I do for fun. And I thought, why not? When I started my YouTube channel a year ago, I might as well call it My Pink Bathtub. You can find me on Instagram and on Facebook. I'm much more active on Instagram. And if you ever want to send me a note, I am at mypinkbathtub@gmail.com. Most of the yarn I've used throughout my knitting career has been some forms of wool blend yarn, mostly commercial-based yarn for my market knitting. And recently, I have fallen down the rabbit hole of hand-dyed yarn and fell in love with it. And you can't stop me now. So I decided in 2024 I was going to visit each province virtually and buy some hand-dyed yarn from hand dyers I have never bought from before. So if you want to catch up, you're going to have to go back and check some older episodes. I do have a playlist linked below. If you don't know how to get to that playlist, just look at the title of this episode. There's going to be the word more. And if you click on it, it's going to open up all of my show notes where you will find links to everyone I'm talking about today, my Canada Yarn Road Trip Series playlist, and how you can contact me. So I was going to originally do Prince Edward Island and Newfoundland Labrador together in one episode because I didn't have a lot to share with you. But then I thought, no, I am going to do them separately, and Newfoundland Labrador will be next month sometime. And spoiler alert, I'm not going to be announcing this in any sort of title or anything next month, but there is going to be a little gift away in that episode to finish off this little journey of ours, this little road trip journey. So don't forget to check that one out. So if you are ready, we're going to get in the car. We've had to separate Laura and Jan because they have been arguing and I cannot go back there in that back seat anymore. I'm driving here. Russ seems to keep smelling all the yarn and he's having a heyday in the trunk with all the extra yarn we bought. The car is full. Let's go to Prince Edward Island, also known as PEI if you don't want to say all those words. Prince Edward Island. The land of red soil and Anne of Green Gables. The rolling hills are just gorgeous and it is a must place to visit if you were ever in the east coast of Canada. I went to Prince Edward Island years ago with a couple of friends. We did a lot of camping in the east coast and I fondly remember Prince Edward Island as a place that was incredibly humid in the summer. Our camping gear never dried out. And one night we even camped on the beach, which was super fun and possibly illegal. But we were young and fun. What did we know about anything? I have 2 hand-dyed yarn to share with you today. And I also have an Etsy shop that sells notions from Prince Edward Island. And unfortunately, my friends, that is it. I have never bought yarn previously from Prince Edward Island to my knowledge. And if you have any other suggestions of yarn dyers that you can add to the list, please leave comments below. So let's get started. My first hand dyer that I want to share with you is Red Island Fibre. Her name is Mandy, and she lives in Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island. Many of the colors of her yarn is inspired by her home province. And I bought one hank of yarn from her. I did reach out and communicate with her because on her website, and I bought this months ago, it said if you just buy like a single hank, you can get it letter mail, flat packed to you, and you just had to email. So I emailed ahead of time, but I also was looking for a mini of her hand-dyed yarn for a friend. And we had great conversation back and forth. I had told her the skein, the color that I wanted, and she was just getting ready at the time to do a yarn festival and had everything packed up and was very, very kind and thoughtful to be able to create a mini for me that I could send to my friend. Now that friend's name is Jude. So Mandy sources all of her yarn from a Canadian mill. I believe it is Ontario. And again, her colors are all inspired by what she sees in her province. Now the color I loved, and yes, I'm a gray girl, I like neutral colors, was her color called Atlantic Welcome. But this is not your typical gray. If you look at this closely, and I hope the light is catching it well, there are browns and almost like a hint of a purpley gray and even a little bit of green in there. I just found it just stunning, 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 stunning. Now this is 80% blue-faced Leicester and 20% nylon. It is 115 grams of fingering weight yarn. And it is 425 yards. And I just love this. In fact, this is the color that I requested for my mini for Jude as well, because I thought she would really enjoy it too. So Red Island Fibre. She has a actual website. She's not on Etsy or anything. I've linked it below as well as her Instagram. So I highly invite you to go and check her out. I have seen a lot on her Instagram that she does tend to go to a lot of fiber festivals as well. She was just fantastic to work with, a great communicator, and I just absolutely adore this color. I've been a rather big mystery girl when it comes to opening yarn, but I found an Etsy shop, which is based out of Montague, PEI, called the Gentle Island Knits, and they sell different types of stitch holders, stitch markers, and they do have some other items, notions, and as well as some handmade items in their Etsy shop. And they had a mystery bundle of stitch markers that you could get that were usually basically themed of some form. You could get them in either a clasp or a ring. And I thought, why not? Let's roll the dice and see what I can get. And I was not disappointed. This package contained a black heart, a teapot, I like coffee black like my soul, a coffee cup, and Starbucks. Very, very cute. I went on to her Etsy shop today and I noticed that she has a Christmas Advent available. Please go and check out her Etsy shop. There seems to be a lot of fun options. These are very, very high quality stitch markers. They're very, very well made. Did I mention I'm doing a gift away on my next and final Canada Yarn Road Trip Series episode, and that's going to be the Newfoundland and Labrador episode, and it's going to be some yarn, a skein of yarn from a Newfoundland dyer. So all I'm going to say is it's rhubarb and honey, and it was like one of my favorite colors of the season. So don't forget to check it out, and tell your friends. That's going to be coming in November. But when I think of Prince Edward Island and hand-dyed yarn, I think of Fleece and Harmony. Now, Fleece and Harmony have their own website. They also have their own YouTube channel. So I'm going to link all that information below for you to check them out. They are a yarn shop as well. They sell Rowan yarn and other brands of yarn, but they have their own yarn. Fleece and Harmony are based out of Belfast, PEI.
Don't adjust your set. I said some misinformation, so I'm saying it correctly. The flock they use, the mill they use, and the dyeing process is all done within their province.
When I was looking at the options, what I found very desirable was I found a yarn that they have which is dyed in the wool. I wasn't 100% sure what dyed in the wool was. I thought I had a good idea, but I decided before I videoed this today that I was just going to email them and ask the question, what is dyed in the wool? It's a Sunday here. I'm filming ahead. It's a Sunday, and I got an answer within 2 minutes from Kim. That's customer service. Dyed in the wool means that the yarn is dyed once the wool is taken off the sheep, obviously, before it is carded and spun into yarn. And this is what makes it have a bit of a tweedy effect in the yarn. So when I was looking through their own yarn options, I thought, I'm going to try this. My only regret in getting the 2 different colors I got in the base that they offer this in is the colors are very, very similar. And I thought I could make something like a color work project with it, but I think I'm going to have to use each of them separately and maybe just grab a neutral, natural cream color fingering weight to hold with it. And that's okay. Actually, this is a fingering weight. So the yarn I'm talking about, and I'm a babbling at this point, this is the Fleece and Harmony 100% wool yarn in their base that is called Diva's Desire. And Diva's Desire is the only yarn that they offer that is dyed in the wool. So I thought that was pretty cool and a pretty unique thing. 100% wool, it may feel a little bit toothy. This tweedy yarn has been crafted to create wonderful heathered color work motifs. It is beautiful in lace, twisted stitches, and cables. And so that is my purpose for this, is to use it with a color work. So, but I think I'm going to, once you see the second color, I think I'm going to have to not use them together. I'd like your opinion, but I think they're way too close in color. So this color is called Thunder Cloud, which is your standard gray. You can see the tweed a little bit in it. There's a little bit of, there we go, a little bit of a variation in the color. It is a 50 gram and it is a 3-ply and there's 200 yards. So it is a fingering weight. So this is Thunder Cloud, and the second one I got, which I quite liked, is this one. You know what? It looks a little bit of a variation on camera, but I find them very, very close in the tone. Maybe if I held it as well with a cream and had 3 colors, it would stand out a little more. But I really loved this color, and this color is called Alfalfa, and it is the same specs. Now, the uniqueness of this company is the fact that everything seems to be grown and processed and dyed in the province of Prince Edward Island. Again, I mentioned they have a store as well, so they not only sell their own product, which is local. So I actually quite like this. And when I look at it on the camera, and this is the funny thing, quite often when we show our yarn on camera, it does seem to pick it up quite differently than in person. It's much greener here than it's showing off camera. Yes, Fleece and Harmony yarn, dyed in the wool. I highly encourage you to go check them out. These were $20 each Canadian. So apparently I was not raised right because I forgot to say goodbye to you. I was editing this video and I'm like, where is the ending of this video? So if you have any other suggestions of hand dyers from Prince Edward Island, please leave a comment below. And hey, please leave a comment below anyway. I would love to hear from you. Next week, I'm going to be sharing with you my outcome of my large market that I'm doing, my 3-day market. And then it's going to be Halloween, so we have some stuff going on in the near future. Thanks so much for watching today. Take care, and until next time, my friends, bye for now.